Hey everyone, my name is Riley and this video is a complete QuickBooks review. We will be taking a look at the pricing of QuickBooks, the features that QuickBooks have for both small businesses, medium-sized businesses and large businesses, mainly focusing on small businesses though. This is really what QuickBooks is targeting with ads. And then we will also be taking a look at reviews of QuickBooks and how QuickBooks users find this tool. Now, the first thing that I want to mention on QuickBooks, and in my opinion, this is the main pro for QuickBooks. It has a very high market share. The exact number is very hard to pinpoint. If I look right here, it says QuickBooks has a market share of 81%. This one says 5%. This is not accurate at all. 62% it says right here. We have 80%, 75%. Either way, no matter what the actual number is, the baseline thing that we can take away from this is that QuickBooks is the most widely used accounting software. Now, the reason that this is so important is because, firstly, you might have an accountant now. If you do, chances are they know how to use QuickBooks, so that's definitely a pro. Secondly, if you are a small business and you don't have an accountant yet, you probably will need one in the future. So it's better to start using a software that the accountant already knows how to use. That way, your accountant then doesn't have to learn a new software, or even worse, if you choose another accounting software aside from QuickBooks, you might have to move everything over to QuickBooks when you hire that accountant. Now, in terms of the pricing for QuickBooks, first of all, I will leave a link in the description of this video that will take you over to this screen. And on this screen, you can get either 50% off for 3 months, or you can get a 30-day free trial. This right here is going to be the pricing for QuickBooks. And there are a few different pricing options aside from what you see right here. Because if we go to features and products, you can see we have this sorted by the business stage. So if you are a small business, you can see we can select this 30-day trial of 50% off. This is going to be the pricing right here. We can start off at $17.50 per month, and these are some of the features that we get. Then we can go up to $32 per month, and so on and so forth to unlock more features. So that's small business. Then we can go into the mid-sized business, and in here we can select what type of business we are. This gets a lot more nuanced, where they will custom tailor a plan to you. Just in this example, we can go down and see the plans recommended for the data that I input. However, let's just stick to the small business as this is more straightforward. And if we just come down to the pricing, you can see the difference because the difference is basically highlighted. So the difference between the essentials and simple start is that we can use multiple currencies. We can include 3 users. So a general accountant, maybe some kind of accountancy department, and we can see all of the differences right here. I would recommend to start off on this plan if you are a small business. I would only recommend upgrading really if you do use multiple currencies or you do need an extra user on your account. So that is the pricing. And then when we log into QuickBooks, this is what QuickBooks is going to look like. Now, I'm not going to go through and give you an exact step-by-step tutorial because I have already created a complete QuickBooks tutorial. And if you would like to check that out, I will leave that in the description. But essentially what we can do in here is you can connect up all of the bank accounts that you use in your business. And then we can use QuickBooks to keep a track of the money going in and out and essentially reconcile this and say where this is going. So as an example, we can go to expenses right here and we can track all of the expenses that we have. So I could go up, I could say this is a new transaction. Let's say this is an expense. And let's say that I bought this Apple trackpad, right? So we would go in, who did you pay? You set this to Apple. I've already added this, but we can add a new supplier, add in all of their information. We can then choose the account that this came from. We can choose the payment date, the payment method, and how we paid. We can then add a reference number, add in what this actually is. So for the category, we can go down and say that maybe this is going to be computer running costs. Let's say this, Apple trackpad. Choose the amount. I don't even know how much this was. Enter that in. And then once all of that has been created, we just save and close. and we can track that expense right there. We can go through and we can add any receipts that we have. We can also reconcile. So this is very important. Essentially, what this is going to do is this is going to show us everything that we have on our bank statements. So it's going to read the bank accounts that we've added. And it's also going to read the information that we have input into QuickBooks. And then if we have any discrepancies, as you can see right here, QuickBooks is basically telling me, hey, like the numbers on your bank account and the numbers that you have input into the software, they don't really match up. And then they are going to show you everything right here. So we can go down and basically check these ourselves and basically say what is right and what is wrong. Another thing that we can do, and I really like this, is how just simple it is to create an invoice inside of QuickBooks. We can basically go in and add an invoice right here and then create the invoice. Select the customer that this is going to be invoiced to. It should autofill their email right here, their billing address. And then all we have to do is enter in the date. So let's say 9/09/2024. Choose the product or service. So I already have a few things added in here. Let's say this is consulting. We can say marketing, consulting, just as an example. Choose the amount that we charged, $6,000. And then we can actually send an invoice to this person. Now, the cool thing about QuickBooks is we can accept card payments through QuickBooks itself. So if we send and close, I'm not actually going to send this. This is just an example email. But if I send this to the person, they will essentially receive an email for the invoice just like this. And they can actually pay through QuickBooks. So you will receive the money into your QuickBooks account. They can run their card through QuickBooks right here on the invoice, and you will get paid into QuickBooks. So an awesome tool right there. Our QuickBooks also has its own credit processing system, so you don't have to connect this up to Stripe or any of the other payment processors. QuickBooks has its own. Some other cool things that we can do is taxes. So I'm in the UK, we have like VAT. In America, it will automatically track the state tax. So I know in the US, different states have different amount of taxes that you have to pay. Essentially, QuickBooks is smart enough to see that when you create an invoice right here, what state is this person in from the address, and then it will automatically track the taxes that you owe and let you know which taxes you owe to which states and things like this. In the UK, it will automatically track your VAT if you are VAT registered. Very cool auto tax system right here. And then the final thing that's really worth mentioning is the reports, because QuickBooks has some beautiful reports. So in here, we can see all of the different types of reports that we can get. Profit and loss detail, profit and loss comparison, balance sheet detail, balance sheet summary, who owes you, invoices and paid receipts, statement list, all of these different reports. And we can just keep scrolling, choose any report that we want. So let's just go with a simple profit and loss right here. And just like that, I can now see the profit and loss for my business between the 1st of January and the 16th of September. If I want to go up and change the date range, let's just change this to the 1st of last month. We can save this. And just like that, we now have this profit and loss detail, and we can now see this in the selected date range. So that is all of the features inside of QuickBooks. The final thing that I want to touch on is going to be the reviews. Now, this seems to be UK Trustpilot. I don't actually think there is a difference. We can go to Trustpilot right here. And we are now on the US version. Yeah, there's literally no difference right there. But this is Trustpilot right here. We can see 83% 5-star reviews. We can go down, great service, understanding, and efficient. Essentially saying that the customer support is fantastic. I never touched on this in the review as it's something I have never used. So I can't tell you if it's good or if it's bad. However, on Trustpilot, the general consensus is that the customer service is absolutely fantastic. So we can just go down, 5-star reviews. Perfect, right? So as I mentioned, this video is not really going to show you how to use QuickBooks. This is just a quick overview into the reviews, the pricing, and the features that you can get with QuickBooks. If you do want to learn how to use the software, I will leave my tutorial in the description. And if you found this video valuable, don't forget to smash that like button and tap that subscribe button. And until next time, take it easy.